Hello, Debate High. Welcome back to A Debater's Guide to LD. Today, we will share a short video about the art of flowing. More specifically, flowing in the digital age. We will be taking a look at how the widespread use of computers and productivity software in particular has affected flowing in LD rounds. We will discuss a basic Google Sheets flowing template, as well as an analysis on a sample flow sheet from previous rounds. In addition to this video, I will provide a link to download the templates on the Debate High website for free. In all honesty, when you're flowing, color coding is your best ally. It makes it so much easier to distinguish your arguments from your opponents. I also prefer to use Google Sheets over Excel simply due to the fact of the seamless integration with Google Drive. Google Sheets also being free is another plus. Not everyone can afford Office, and not everyone knows how to install Office if your school gives you a Office subscription or an Office license, and some schools don't even give you an Office license. So Google Sheets is honestly a free and just as good alternative. With all that being said, let's examine the flows. You should have one column per speech, or in other words, 3 for the AF and 2 for the neg. I like to use red for the AF arguments and blue for the neg arguments. The corresponding speech columns should also be this color. In order to associate the colors with the speeches, I recommend having the text be the same color, be it red for affirmative arguments or blue. Say, for example, you run a more traditional neg case for lay judges or parent judges, or even someone who's just starting to judge LD and does not have any debate experience or prior knowledge. You probably want to run a more traditional case on them. Or say, for example, you want to run a more progressive case, maybe a counterplan or maybe even a critique, and reserve those for the experienced judges, maybe ex-debaters or debate coaches. A cool feature of flowing on PC, at least with this template, is that when you type, your arguments are already automatically color-coded. The faster you type, the more natural the flowing experience will feel to you. But if you are a slow typer, however, this style might have a bit of a learning curve. Now that we actually introduced the template, let's take a look at a previous round, and let's see how this template performs in action. A really cool thing about flowing online is that you have the ability to pull up and analyze previous rounds at just the click of a button. So let's take a look at it. This tournament in particular was hosted by a more traditional school and a more traditional conference. So you will see a lack of progressive arguments, whether that be for the better of debate or the detriment of debate. That's up to you to debate. Round 1 took place during the 2020 Jan-Feb season. Since I was on the affirmative side, I ran a nuclear structural violence and nuclear industrial complex case. If these arguments sound a bit foreign to you, I recommend you watch my video for a closer look at an AF where I go in detail on the case, but I digress. My opponent ran, as you can see, a value of morality with no criterion. So in terms of framework debate, he or she, I don't really remember, might have been inexperienced or might have forgotten to mention them in their constructive. So already out of the gate, their case is substantially weaker due to the absence of a complete framework. Their first contention was the conventional war shift. In the context of the resolution, conventional war shift basically means that in the absence of nuclear weapon states, states will shift to a conventional weapon like normal guns, normal planes, tanks, missiles that are not nuclear in order to continue their warfare. And that outcome, the shift from nuclear deterrence and nuclear weapons to more conventional weapons and more conventional deterrence, leads to a worse outcome than status quo. In my opinion, it's really, really interesting, and one of the better arguments that this season had. However, my opponent failed to use it to its full advantage, only including 2 cards in the contention, and goes on to drop them in the 2NR, effectively losing all of his ground that had any strategic consideration whatsoever. His second contention is deterrence, which gets blocked by some deterrence blocks I had in my case and extended upon. So mainly the second contention was a source of clash in the round. The third contention in their case was a bioweapon shift, It's the same concept as a conventional weapon shift, but applied to bioweapons. So, say for example, in the absence of nuclear warheads, states will shift to biological agents like anthrax or mustard gas in the hopes of replacing nuclear weapons as their de facto deterrents. Overall, this case was very traditional and pretty common. It's been run by multiple people for a long time in the circuit surrounding this particular resolution. After this, the rebuttals were nothing special, since my opponent dropped most of their case. The 2AR was, in a sense, a rehash of the 1AC, since the neg did not extend any of the arguments that had strategic value and only extended the arguments that were blocked. Now, that round in particular is only known due to the fact that I flowed it and that I flowed it on my PC. Because of it, I was able to pull it up, rehash, and review what happened in the round, what I could have done better, what my opponent did, and be able to learn from it. That's the beauty of online flowing. It's easy to organize, it's easy to pull up, and it's easy to learn from it. And there's virtually unlimited amount of flow space. You're no longer constrained by how much paper you have. Now, all you have to do is pull up your PC, and if it's on your Google Drive, you can pull up from anywhere. I will leave this sample template in the description of the video. I hope this video helped showcase how you can flow on your PC, what strategies and what techniques within flowing are helpful, and why flowing is evolving with debate. Thank you very much for watching Debate High and supporting our mission of student-led, student-oriented, educational, free debate content.